FOX5 Live Zone. So did you hear? The USDA has dubbed August Tree Check Month. What does this mean and why does it matter? Well, you see, detecting tree pests early on can significantly reduce the damage inflicted by invasive insects. Knowing which one of these bad bugs lurk in the DMV and recognizing the telltale signs of their destructive presence, well, that is vital. That leads me to my next guest. I'm pleased to say we're joined yet again by arborist Lou Meyer back here on the Live Zone. Lou, good to see you, sir. Thank you so much for being patient. I know you have been waiting for quite some time, and welcome back to the Live Zone.
It's so great to be with you once again. And that Kemp Mill Bridge story was just an inspirational story, and the fact that they protected trees and planted trees and they realized the importance of trees. We do a lot of work in Montgomery County, and their environmental division is just fantastic with their management of their urban canopy. So good stuff there.
Yeah, well, I tell you, when it comes to you, it's great stuff. We had you on, I guess, a month or two ago. We got a big response with regard to your segment. So yet again, truly appreciate you coming back on with us. So let's jump into this. Can you tell us, because there's so many folks when we were talking about this in the newsroom earlier, they said, Guy, I wasn't really familiar with Tree Check Month, and why is it so important? Well, that's why we have you here, sir, because you're about to educate us all.
Yeah, so trees are, as the Kemp Mill story talked about, and other ones too, trees are an extremely important part of our lives. For everything from, things to look at, great things to look at, to habitat for wildlife, to creating the food that we eat, right? Everything starts with the solar-powered vegetable plants, fruit plants, and the rest that feed our livestock and then feed us directly as well. But as good as anything is, there's always the flip side, and we have to protect what we have. And that's where arborists come into play with things like Tree Check Month in August. So there are pests and diseases and other issues that affect our urban forest. And August gives us a chance to focus on some of those invasive pests that we see coming into not just the DMV region, but the United States as a whole. We're a global economy. Things move from continent to continent faster than ever before. And with that growth comes unintended consequences. Yeah. So yes, as you said, trees are under attack by different pests and diseases, and there are a number of them in the DMV area that we're focusing on. Hemlock woolly adelgid is one that affects our hemlock trees. This has been around for a long time, but it's a slow-moving pest. If you go down into Shenandoah Forest, you'll see a lot of dieback from the hemlock woolly adelgid. The ambrosia beetle is another one that's affecting oaks and maples and some beeches. This is an insect that bores into the tree, feeds on the sugars, and then inoculates a fungal pathogen into the tree that girdles it and kills them. The emerald ash borer has done a number on our ash trees in the eastern United States. Most viewers are probably aware of that one. If they don't know what it is exactly, they've heard of emerald ash borer and know that the ash forests are in decline. And then the big one right now, spotted lanternfly,
oh
right?
My gosh.
That's everywhere and everyone's talking about it. And that's a big one that's affecting our forests as well.
Lou, I'm so glad you touched on that. It's so interesting. The other day, I got off there and I went to go grab a bite. I opened the door, the front door here in the building in Bethesda. That's where we're based at. And before I could walk 2 feet, I was covered with those with those bugs.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to tell you,
yeah.
They are somewhat aggressive, I would argue.
They could be aggressive. One thing I want to make sure that your viewers know is that they're not dangerous. They can't bite you. They can't sting you. There's no reason to fear them as human beings. Also, our pets aren't affected by them that we know of yet. My dogs will smell them. They haven't eaten them yet, but they're out there. So I'm standing here. I'm actually in Howard County right now along a roadway that's full of a tree called the Tree of Heaven, Ailanthus altissima, which is the spotted lanternfly's favorite tree to feed on. And they're just loaded with lanternflies. It feels like it's raining on me right now. Their honeydew is dripping on me. What they do, this bug in particular, is they feed on the sugars in the trees. So they drink that fluid, and then they excrete or poop out this sweet, sticky substance that coats anything underneath it with a sweet, sticky, clear substance. Yeah. So
Lou, I got to ask you, because and yet again, I have lived pretty much in the DMV for the majority of my now life, middle-aged life.
Yeah.
I've not seen these before. And so I guess the $1 million question is, where do these guys come from?
Right. So they were discovered in Bucks County up by Philadelphia about 10 or 12 years ago. And they came from Asia. I'm not exactly sure which country, but somewhere in Asia. They showed up here and they've spread since then. I've got them crawling all over me. They've spread since then and in different regions. Now they travel mostly, so they're hoppers. They don't fly, so they hop. So they can't travel by themselves very far. But in the fall, the female lays her eggs on stationary objects and she puts this kind of, looks like a mud coating over them. And so they're not like eggs falling off of something. They're pressed up against, they're stuck to the thing. And so semi trucks, that trailers sit for months at a time in the fall, trains that sit for a long time, RVs, trailers that you would pull with your car that sit for a long time. The females will lay her eggs on that. And then when you or those vehicles travel to other areas, they carry the
Wow.
eggs with them. And that's primarily how they're spreading. When it first popped up, we did a quarantine on vehicular travel up and down I-95 and the eastern corridors, and it's since broken out of that. But we're doing our best to slow the spread.
Yeah, gosh, I got to tell you, I know we're talking about Tree Check Month, but this was it's a topic that in essence has really affected me personally, and I would say a lot of my colleagues and the folks living right here in the DMV overall. As we get ready to wrap up, Lou, I guess what is the one thing that we should all take away? What is the one thing that we can do in order to, well, keep Mother Earth a little bit greener and a little bit happier as yet again we celebrate Tree Check Month?
That's exactly the right question to be asking. So what we want to do to help protect our trees is plant native species, so species that are native to the area. And you can reach out to a landscape firm, an arboricultural firm, or all of your nurseries are pretty familiar with that. Native trees are less susceptible to invasion by other pests. They're more likely to survive in our area. Also, reach out to your arborist. If you have suspicion of an infestation on your property, if you have trees that you want to protect, we make free house calls. We'll come out, we'll assess your trees, we'll provide a management plan for you to help protect them so that the benefits that they provide ecologically, personally, environmentally can last for years to come.
Good stuff. Well, vital information. Yet again, we have been speaking with arborist Lou Meyer with some important information that yet all of us can benefit from. Truly appreciate you being patient, sir, and truly appreciate you joining us right here on the Live Zone. We'll chat soon.
Thanks, Guy. Great to be here.
You bet. All right, guys, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.